Well, we are just 43 days away from Election Day. A new CBS News polling shows Vice President Kamala Harris has gained a slight edge over former President Donald Trump. Harris is 4 points ahead of Trump nationally and 2 points in key battleground states. A new poll from the New York Times and Siena College has former President Donald Trump edging out Harris in 3 Sunbelt battleground states. Trump gained a lead in Arizona and is leading a tight race in Georgia and North Carolina. Over the weekend, Trump and Harris had different views over the possibility of a second presidential debate between the two.
It's too late to do another. I'd love to in many ways, but it's too late. The voting is cast.
Join me on the debate stage. Let's have another debate. There's more to talk about, and the voters of America deserve to hear the conversations that I think we should be having on substance, on issues, on policies. What's your plan? What's my plan? And we should have another one before Election Day.
Former President Donald Trump is busy on the campaign trail this week with events planned in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan. For the latest on the Trump campaign, I am joined by Libby Cathey. So, Libby, we should mention that there have been debates far into October for many cycles previously, because Trump did say it's too late here. But what is the importance of Pennsylvania for the Trump campaign?
Yes, well, Pennsylvania, where I am now, just down the road from where Trump will have that rally tonight, in Indiana, Pennsylvania, hugely important to the Trump campaign. It is the Commonwealth that they won in 2016. Biden won in 2020, famously putting him over the line to 270. So Trump wants to win this state back. That's why we see him spending a lot of time here. This is his 15th trip to the state this cycle, to the Commonwealth, I should say. And with 43 days to go, it is definitely not going to be his last visit here. 19 electoral votes. It could easily put either Trump or Harris over the map to win the presidency, Lindsay.
As we mentioned earlier, new polling shows Trump is doing better than Harris in 3 Sunbelt states. But new CBS polling shows Harris is 4 points ahead of Trump nationally, 2 points in the key battleground states. Any word right now from the campaign on how they're reading these polls, whether they're going to retool any strategy?
Yes, well, the Trump campaign really likes to read the polls that look good for them and tout those polls. The polls that don't look good for them, kind of ignore those, although we see that on the Democrat side as well. But the Trump campaign says they are confident right now. And what this polling really shows us from the weekend from the New York Times and our own CBS polling is that this is a close race, Lindsay. It is anyone's game, and it's really an election that's going to be fought in battlegrounds like Pennsylvania. So the Trump campaign, the Harris campaign, focused on those battlegrounds with the limited time left here, Lindsay.
Over the weekend, Trump addressed his future if he does not win in November. What did he say, and has there been any reaction to it?
Yes. So with Cheryl Atkinson, an interview with Cheryl Atkinson, Trump said he was asked if he would run for another term if he is not successful this time around. Trump said no. He said that this would be it. Now, the reaction so far from his supporters, at least, is that they believe that he is going to win, so there would not be a need to run again. But, Trump is 78 years old. He is the oldest person to seek office now that Joe Biden is out of the race. He would be 82 this time next year, this time in 2028. So I think some Republicans are sighing relief at this, but definitely Trump says it's not over. Let's focus on 2024 before we get to 2028, but definitely making news in that interview, Lindsay.
So, Libby, what can you tell us about Trump's strategy here in not committing to another debate against Harris?
Yeah, so I was actually in Wilmington, North Carolina at the rally this weekend when Trump seemingly reacted on stage to Kamala Harris accepting that debate invitation from CNN. He said that it's too late to debate, as you pointed out. He did debate this time in the cycle in October in 2020 and in 2016. But I think the strategy from his campaign is voters already know Donald Trump. They are going out and doing interviews on their own, and that's how they're going to get his message out. Through rallies, through interviews. They don't think that they need another debate is how they see it. I will say I have talked to some Trump supporters, for instance, at that rally in North Carolina, and they would like to see him get on that debate stage again, as would Harris and Democrats, as you mentioned. So limited time left. We'll see if there is another debate. So far, Trump said there will not be one. I did ask him about J.D. Vance debating come next week on CBS News. Trump said absolutely he wants to see J.D. Vance debate, and he will. Lindsay.
Libby Cathey, thank you.